Season's greetings from Larry and Nelda Kershaw family. This is 1972.
Each one of you kids, we hope you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And we hope you enjoy this recording that we've worked on.
This is a picture of Grandpa Kershaw, Larry Kershaw, Christmas time. We were just getting ready to sit down and eat.
Myron's trying to eat the turkey. Here I am getting ready for school. I believe I'm in the first grade. How old were you with this next?
I think I was about in third grade in this picture, going to school at Louisville, Idaho. My teacher was Mrs. Harris.
Here we are about the same age. Don't we look cute? Just like you
Notice
children.
the bib overalls on Larry Kershaw.
I remember that little schoolhouse on my dress. Here's my brothers and sisters, Marjorie, and I'm holding the doll, and Myron playing in the sand pile with Wandaloo on his side. Here we are out in the tractor, getting the grain. My father, Edward Partington Evans, is
On the binder.
on the binder, and I'm on the tractor, and then Myron and Paul. Here's Myron going on his mission. He went to Virginia.
South Central States Mission.
Atlantic. South Central, wasn't it?
This is a picture of Nelda and her parents when they went back to get Myron to come home off of their mission.
In front of the Arizona Temple.
Mesa, Arizona.
I'm on my mission here, and these two sisters in the middle were baptized today, Ronnie Jager and Sister Newell. And my companion, Sister Kilburn, is on the other side.
This is a picture of Larry Kershaw when he was very young, and they were getting ready to go into the potato field, and Grandma came out and wanted to take a picture of me riding that horse, and she made me take my cap off and put it behind me.
We think Micah looks an awful lot like you. He's on that great big horse, and he doesn't like to be stopped either. He's having fun. Here's Larry and his family.
This was when George was on his mission down in California. This is in North Hollywood, California, and we went down in 1951 to see him.
Here's Larry's mission president.
President Smoot and Sister Smoot and President Cardinal and Sister Cardinal. This is a picture of President and Sister McKay when they came to Madison, Wisconsin, to dedicate the chapel there in Madison.
Here's Eddie. We used to call him Eddie Spaghetti. He stayed with Grandpa and Grandma and I and Myron and Paul when we were just all at home. This is just before I went on my mission, when I was working in the telephone company. After I come home, I met Larry, and here we are in front of our wedding cake. That cake is not all cake. You remember?
This is June the 20th, 1958.
That cake was made with with fans around it.
This
is our
first
home. Before we got lawn or steps or anything. This is before we moved in.
Building it.
Here's our family, all of us, here together. This is after we moved to Boise. Do you remember? We went to Nampa and had our pictures taken.
This is Nelda and all of her 5 girls.
Aren't they cute?
This is Larry and Myron and Glenn. Oh my, that was quite an occasion. Here we are again.
Just a little older. Just a little older.
Well, here we are all together. We're all together having our family portrait.
Oh, can you remember what the fun we had when we went to Salt Lake to see Joseph Fielding Smith go in? Here's Larry in front of the Cuna Church, going into church, priesthood. Here's Mother and Dad's golden wedding anniversary, my mother and Dad's, and all my brothers and sisters, Myron, Wandaloo, Marge, Verla, Elihu, Paul, I, and Faye. Here's our family at the time.
This is Larry and Nelda and their 7 children.
Well,
5
just
children.
had our 5 girls
That's
there.
right.
Here's Mother and
Here's
Dad.
Grandpa and
50th
Grandma
wedding
Evans
anniversary.
and their 50th wedding anniversary. This was on my parents' 50th anniversary. This was taken at, we had this at the Lisville Chapel.
Here we are again with the 5 girls and I. This is when Kathy was going to college. Here,
There's
the boys are just
Larry
a little bit older here.
Myron and Glenn.
Here we are before we moved to
who's
Cuna.
those movie stars?
That's Myron Evans. This is Larry and Nelda.
This is when we were just a little bit older.
This was Nampa,
just
Idaho.
before Janie was married. This was just before Janie was married that we had this taken. This is in front of our home in Roberts. Do you remember?
Oh yes, I
There's
can
our
never
home.
forget.
Here we're on our trip in Salt Lake in front of Martin and Harris and Oliver Cowdery and David Whitmer's. The boys had their picture taken. We're relative to them. How are they relative? Martin
Harris, my great-great-grandfather.
There's all of our kids in Roberts when Myron was a baby.
And this is a picture, an old picture we had of that one dog that we had there in Roberts.
This is just before Christmas, and they're all waiting to go out and see what Santa Claus has for them here in Roberts. There's Myron when he was just a tiny baby, and Glenn's right in front, and there's Janie, Susan, Kathy, and Ann.
This is in Cuna, Idaho.
Do you remember Susan? Just before she went on her mission. Ann was on her mission at this time.
This is a portrait of,
There's Aunt Faye and Uncle Ronald before they went on their mission. They sent this picture to us, and there's Uncle Kenneth and Aunt Verla. And I think that was taken in about 86, wasn't it? 86?
This is Myron Evans
and all
Lois
his family, we thought, but they have a few more now. How many? 2 more, I believe. Yes? There's all my brothers. There's all my sisters and sister-in-laws with Mother at Margie's home. We're having dinner there. This is when one of the guys got married. I think Rhea's children got married here. Here's Larry with his famous smile to all of our children.
That isn't
This is
Larry.
their favorite photo of Larry.
No, that isn't Larry.
And he's trying to get his tractor tire fixed, so he jumps on the
car
little
tire.
tiny...
It isn't a tractor. I've had a flat tire, and that was the only transportation I had.
Here's Grandpa and Grandma Kershaw with Kathy. And that dog was one of the best dogs I've ever seen. Dusty, wasn't it?
This was in front of our home in Lisville.
That's Kathy.
Yeah, that's our little Kathy.
Isn't that neat? I remember her when
this was down in Idaho Falls at the zoo, at Topless Park Zoo in Idaho Falls, Idaho, right in front of the bear cage.
That's Kathy again.
And that's little Kathy. And there's Kathy and her little puppy. In front of our home in Lisville. That's before we had any sidewalks. And there
she's just learning to walk there, and so she's holding on to the
clothesline pole.
Right, and she doesn't quite know how to walk yet.
This was a trip that we took to Seattle, Washington.
Yellowstone.
Oh, this was in Yellowstone. This is
Kathy,
little Kathy
just a
again.
Little girl.
There's somebody's beautiful face. Who is that? That's Kathy K. Kershaw.
She's 2 years old here.
2 years old.
She's 2 years old here. She was such a darling.
Oh, and this is
Here's
when she was just
3 years
older.
old. Black eyes, beautiful long
curly hair. And there she's just a little older. In
Here
school.
she's in school. What memories to see her going to school. Here she is, and a little older. She's about the 6th grade here.
This is when the boys start chasing her.
Well, or right now. I think she's about an 8th grader here. She's just growing up so fast. Freshman. This is when she had her best friend, Kathy Stallings. They had such good times together.
And here she's just a little older. My goodness, she's grown up fast.
I think she's about a sophomore here, just before we moved. This was just about
This is her graduation
her graduation picture. She graduated from Kuna High School. A year what? What year did she graduate in?
There's Ross Butler. He's showing up in the picture.
Do you know what year Kathy
There
graduated?
Kathy is in her graduation gown.
She's graduating from Kuna High School.
1977.
1977? Is that what it was?
Oh my goodness.
This
look
is
who
their
it is.
engagement picture of Ross and Kathy. They look so cute there. We went to Salt Lake to get Kathy's endowments. And today is, it was on her birthday, wasn't it? That she got her endowments? I believe it was. She got them in Salt Lake. Ross was seeing some of the people that he had taught, and they were going through the temple, and so she went and got her endowments.
This is at the temple in Idaho Falls. This is when Kathy and Ross was married.
Here you can see a lot of the kids around. There's Myron and Susan in the back. And
Here they are again. My goodness. Isn't that a beautiful dress?
there's my dad. And there's the 2 boys. They're so happy for Kathy. Look at Ann in the back. You don't have too much of a smile, do you? There they are. They're
There's
so
Janie.
happy for her.
And
There's Janie and Ann and
Kathy.
Kathy. Right in the annex of the temple.
This is Kathy Stallings and Kathy Kershaw.
They were
Butler.
such good friends when they were going to school. Such good friends. There she is out in front of the temple. She's so happy today. Such a beautiful day. They had a reception at Kuna. And here's some of the pictures that they had taken at the reception. Myron and Glenn. Look how young they look there.
Oh my goodness. They
When
really
were they
look
married?
great,
In what? 78.
Oh my
Here
goodness.
it shows Larry taking Ann on the merry-go-round. If there was one thing that she liked, it was to go on the merry-go-round. What was it her favorite saying when she went? Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go.
And the way, isn't she a dumpling? We were
This
so
is in
proud of
Rexburg,
her.
Idaho.
Kathy loved her as much as we did. If you look real close, you can see Kathy between Ann and their dad. There they are on the merry-go-round together. And they love that. When we'd come and go see Grandpa and Grandma, we'd stop and let them go on the
You can
merry-go-round.
also see the picture of their mother there.
Christmas morning, here they find their toys.
This was in Louisville, Idaho.
Yeah. And we send cards to everyone at Christmas. And so we had their picture taken on the card and wish everyone a Merry Christmas. Here's the kids around the Christmas tree.
This was in Kuna, Idaho.
Yes, this was in Kuna. Christmas morning. Here's Ann when she was just a little girl. I believe she's about 6 months old here. Pink dress, rosy cheeks. You see those stockings? Those are the kind we used to have put on them when they were cold in winter time. Curly hair. We were scared that she wasn't going to have any hair, but here it comes. Curly hair.
Curly. Natural
She's
curly.
starting to school now. She thinks she's so big. Black hair, black eyes. I talked to the teacher once, and I thought maybe the teacher was a mother and I was a teacher because she was telling me how good she was. Here she is in the 8th grade, just starting to graduate. She's starting high school now. I believe this next photo is kind of mixed up because she's older there than she is in some of these others. But here she is in high school.
This is her graduation picture.
Now let's see, what year did she graduate?
79.
79.
1979. From Cuna High School.
From Cuna. This was the day she left Boise to go on her mission. We had this taken the very day that she left. This is another pose. She's getting ready to go on her mission. Where'd she go on her mission?
What?
Buenos Aires.
Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Oh, Argentina. South America. Here's her companion here. Karen Free. They're pointing to where they're going. They went on a great big jet, clear across the ocean. And here it shows a group of the missionaries that she was with just before she came home. Here's her companion there. This is the very outfit she wore when she came home from the airplane. She looked so cute. Pink bow, striped dress. She was so happy with all these mission companions. They were so sweet. She really enjoyed her mission. She loved the Spanish people and she learned to speak Spanish. There's her mission president, Elder and Sister Faust, and all the other missionaries. This is just about the night or 2 days before she came home. They had a
party in the mission
a
home.
party in the mission home. Here she is in South America. Isn't that a beautiful country over there? Beautiful country. When we have Christmas here, they have summer there. Here she's home.
This is in front of the home in Cuna, Idaho.
She's
really beautiful there.
This is when in front of the seminary, just before Janie got married. Myron and Glenn, look how much older they are now that from Kathy when she got married. And graduated from BYU.
Brigham Young University.
We were so proud of her.
Because you when I hit play, it hits on 2.
We went down to
Provo, Utah to see Ann graduate from Brigham Young University. This is in her cap and gown and by her apartment.
She had red accessories, red shoes, and red earrings, and that was her favorite color all her life was red. Here's our Janie.
Janie, girl.
The spice of life. She was such a little baby there.
We didn't know whether she was going to have any hair or not.
Yeah,
by golly, she's got hair.
Yeah, and she took most of her pictures with her when she left, so we don't have too many right now, but we found some. Here she is older.
When she's going to school there in Roberts, Idaho. This is when she was going to school in Cuna, Idaho.
She's about a freshman here.
This is in her teens. Oh my goodness, look at Janie.
What a beautiful girl.
Sweet Janie.
Here she graduated
from high school.
1978.
1980.
1980. Here's Susan. What a beautiful baby. She took her beauty contest. Can you remember that?
Yes.
As a baby? Most beautiful baby.
I'll never forget when she was born. It was in the fall of the year and it was cold. We was just building that barn in Louisville.
She was a pixie.
She loved to have her picture taken. Little Susan. Oh my goodness, look at that pose.
Do you remember that color of that dress? She had a yellow dress. She leaned back, so pretty.
Here's her little blue dress with a white collar. Isn't that beautiful?
Starting to school. That's her first grade picture. Just starting to school.
I'll never forget when she started school about this time and took her to CUNA, and never forget taking her to her class, and she pretty near cried when I left. But she made it. And there she is with her beautiful smile.
She's on a mission now, and we're really proud of her. She wanted to go on a mission for a long time, and she worked herself in Micron until she was able to go.
Here's her graduation time from CUNA. 1983. Here is Susan
With her fluff.
with
They
her,
call it the pink fluff.
her graduation picture.
Susan and Brenda. It was just before they left. She left on her mission, wasn't it? Just a few months. David Long took this picture. Her boys and girls that she taught at Sunday school gave her the flowers for her farewell. She's getting ready to leave.
This is in front of the house there at CUNA, Idaho.
She left about in October, didn't she? She's happy to go. She's ready to go.
And there she's pointing to where she was going. This was when she was in mission home in Provo, Utah.
She's going to London, England. South Mission? Is that what?
London, England, South.
There's all the missionaries that she was together in the MTC.
Here she is standing by the
London.
Oh, that's a London temple.
England temple. That's where she is. That's a London temple. Here's her mission president and his wife. President and Sister Pinniger. That's when she got right off the airplane. Here's Brenda when she was a tiny baby. And the other three girls. Kathy was in school.
Here's Brenda.
She had a little bit more
little
hair.
Brenda.
Beautiful child. Oh, isn't she cute?
She's beautiful there. I'll never forget when Janie was about her age and I went to get a load of hay and little bunny started hopping and Janie chased the bunny and she says, "Wait for me, wait for me, wait for me." And here Brenda's growing up. My goodness.
Brenda, just getting ready to start school.
Here she is in school.
She started at Roberts. And then, how old was she when she came to CUNA? Third grade? Fourth grade. She has always loved to read the scriptures. She has loved primary. Can you remember that dress, Brenda? You didn't think you were going to get a new one until one day you come home and found that dress with 3 little turtles on the front. How happy you were.
Goodness, she's growing up fast.
Here's a daddy-daughter date.
Oh my goodness.
Can you
Isn't that
remember that
beautiful? You're
daddy-daughter
not
date?
kidding.
Where did you take her?
To the church, and I think she received a box of candy.
There's her graduation.
1984. My.
There's her graduation dress that she had underneath her cap and gown. There's her blue
Graduation picture.
fluff. She walked, there she's walking with Doug Nelson in to graduate. She's getting ready to go to college. She's packing all of her things into this car. Wayne Edwards sure was nice to help her. There she's dating at Rick's college. She looks so cute.
Here's a graduation from
Picture.
Rick's College.
Kathy and the children came to see her graduate too, and there's Susan, Micah, and Seth, and Leisha.
Here's Brenda and her mother and father.
She graduated in 86. This is when we were at Roberts. Here's our baby, Glenn,
This
our
is
first
the
boy,
butterball.
our butterball. Glenn don't like us to say that though.
Here's
That's what the girls called him when he come home. There he is with his football, holding his football. He was such a tease, and the kids loved everything he did. Doesn't he look like a tease there?
he's sure smiling. There he's kind of a smile on his face.
Do you see those shoes? He says no shoes, they hurt his feet. There's where he's getting ready to go to school. First grade. His first grade picture.
There's when he was in
sure
school.
conscious about school. He wanted to do good. You can tell by that picture, can't you?
That's sure cute. There he's a Cub Scout.
He received his Arrow of Light. We were very proud of him. He was proud to be a scout. Growing up, he always has loved scouting. He's in high school. We sure have enjoyed him. He built a car, and he even got first in the Derby. We went over to Boise.
Here, Myron and Glenn together.
And Glenn's he's getting ready to be
That's right.
baptized.
That's
years
when he was
old.
8 years old.
Here they are with their two dogs, Daisy and Tippy Toes, and they're dancing with them. Oh, Glenn's ordained to be
A deacon.
to be a deacon. Yes.
Received the Aaronic priesthood.
What a fine boy. This is a special time of the year. I hope all of you enjoy this. Some of these pictures are duplicate. I don't know if she started over again and got them in twice, but I hope you'll enjoy all of them.
I called on dear old Santa Claus just to see what I could see.
We've all loved Christmas.
He took me to his workshop and he told me his plans. So you better watch out.
This is when he played football, when he was in the 8th grade.
I believe the girls liked him to play football even more than he liked to play.
Here's when he was an eagle.
Oh, Micah, he was so proud of that eagle. He wanted to touch it.
He wanted to play with the eagle. And here he is sitting on Santa Claus's lap.
Just giggling.
This is when he took his sheep to the fair.
His prize lamb. They have enjoyed doing that. It's lots of work, but they have enjoyed it. An Eagle Scout. Full uniform. He went to Baden-Powell. He was in charge of all these boys. He loved this. And they appreciated him doing this.
Here was at the fair with his lamb, his FFA jacket.
Here's his graduation picture. However, this is his suit. We think he looks like a missionary, don't you?
I sure do. Stay right in there.
But we also had a picture taken of his tux. And he looks so cute in those. Handsome, I should say, I guess. Is that right?
That's right.
Guess what he loves?
Old Shorty.
I don't believe he'll ever sell that horse. Somebody offered him $500 and he said, no, it's not for
And
sale.
here's Myron and Old Blue.
Loving their horses.
Loving their horses. Their horses, I think, love them. Oh my goodness, here's Grandpa and Grandma Kershaw.
In front of their home. In Louisville. This is right after we were married. There's Larry and his folks in front of their home. We lived right on the other side of them, east on the other side of them. Larry and his two boys. Myron was such a little baby then. Here they are out in front of Robert's playing. If you'll notice, they've got their cats holding their kitty cats. Here they have made their
Little car to race.
to what? Badentown? No.
Pinewood Derby.
Pinewood Derby. And
Here they made some drums.
they might have made some, but that's an ice cream thing.
Oh, that's what
They're licking the bowl of ice cream in the bar. They're on our neighbor's horse, and they're just so tiny and laughing. There's Susan and Brenda and then their little friend. They're fishing in a mud hole there. If you'll look real close, you can see them earnestly fishing. Here we are, ready for Sunday. This was on your folks' golden wedding anniversary. Susan and Brenda were dressed alike and they served.
Oh.
Christmas morning. Glenn wanted to have Myron's picture in there, so he grabbed a hold of him and put his head up. Myron wanted to play with his toys.
Here's Myron and Glenn sitting on the walk.
In Roberts, before we move.
And there's that famous little sweater that they used to wear.
2 years old. This is just the age when he walked away and went to sleep under the loading chute. We couldn't find him anywhere. And we found him sound asleep under a loading chute. There's Glenn. Myron's chasing the cat under one of the buildings. They wanted to get away from him. There he is with his cat. Do you see that kitty cat right at the top of the milk can?
She crawled in there and had her kittens down in the milk can.
There's Farmer John.
This was in Roberts. There they're feeding the calves at Roberts.
Glenn always seen that he fed his calves. I asked him one time if he had fed all the animals. He says, yes, I fed the mama pig, the daddy pig, and all the babies.
This is in Roberts when we was feeding the calves.
If their dad had a hat on, they had to have a hat on. Look at Janie. Kathy's in the back trying to ride that bicycle. Here's our picnic. We always love to have picnics in the summer underneath the pine tree. Myron is being held by Janie. Here's Myron when he was just a tiny baby, about 2 months old, about the age of Samuel's not 2 months old, but they kind of look alike for some reason.
Well, they could be related.
They're cousins. There's his football. Myron loves football. 2 years old, golden curly hair. Huh.
Mm-hmm. Because really, it was hard for his mother to cut those locks off.
Yeah.
There was little old proud Myron.
The night you said you were going to cut them off, you had all 5 girls howling. And I called the barber shop and I said, you come home. Don't you dare cut that hair. These kids are all bawling here. There he is, starting to school. Getting ready to go to school for the first time.
And there he is in his school picture. He wanted a smile on his face.
Little pixie ears. I think we've got a couple of pictures of those too.
There he is sitting on Santa's lap. There he is with his Mickey Mouse shirt on.
He had thick black hair, and it always waves. Melinda? When he was about just a little boy, there he was 8 years old, being baptized. He used to play with his brothers and sisters about bearing their testimony. And one time Susan got up and says, I don't know what to say to bear my testimony. And Myron says, well, just cry. Everybody else does.
Here, Glenn and Myron are on Myron's birthday, or Myron's baptismal.
I remember another cute thing that he used to say. He saw a shark one time on the TV, and it was trying to bite through some bars. And he looked over at Anne and he said, well, that naughty shark, he's going to hurt his teeth. Oh, it was a joy to have little kids in the home.
There's a
But they're growing
shirt
up
that
now.
they made.
Yeah, that was probably one of the first ones. The boys really liked those shirts. Janie made such nice t-shirts for them. They have enjoyed wearing them at school.
This is funny.
He enjoyed scouting too, but I believe that's Glenn, isn't it, Larry? Or is that Myron?
It's Myron.
Oh, that's Boxy and Myron.
And there Myron is receiving his Eagle Scout Award.
Now, we were proud of that.
He really worked hard to get his eagle.
And he looked over on the piano and saw that eagle, and he says, I knew that was mine. Janie had made it for me.
Here Glenn is at the Eagle presentation.
He talked at Myron's eagle presentation. Did a fine job. Brother Worthen helped him get his eagle. Larry's pinning it on.
And there he's placing his name up on the Eagle roster.
And if you look real close, you can see Glenn over there. His picture's up there, and now Myron's is going to be. Larry works at Swiss Village.
Swiss Village Cheese. And this was in the spring of 1987. And we had a booth over at the Ag Expo in Caldwell, Idaho. This is Myron and his horse,
Blue.
Blue.
But I think he's traded that horse, hasn't he?
Yes, he traded that horse off
For Misty.
for Misty. This was Glenn over at the booth over at the Ag Expo, where we had a booth for Swiss Village Cheese.
Here's our grandchildren. David Long came over and took pictures of them. Seth, Micah, Leisha, and Jesse. Here's our family and a few of our grandchildren. But there's Leisha, a tiny baby, and Jesse.
And there's Micah.
And Leisha and Jesse and Seth and Kathy
Seth.
and Susan and Brenda and Glenn and Myron.
Yes.
Jesse was scared that Myron was going to get hurt when he was baptized.
And this was Jesse. And Jesse's always had a real close relationship with Myron. And here they're riding the old bucking bull.
Benjamin with his cowboy hat, and Micah right behind the bull, and Glenn's a bull.
Here's Kathy and Ross with their two little children.
Leisha
What a
and
beautiful
Jesse.
children they have. And here's Ross and Kelsey, Grandpa Butler and Jesse on their old Pinto horse.
Mike is crying because he's afraid that cat's getting hurt. He doesn't want that cat to get hurt. There's Jesse when he's just a little shaver. Kathy and Ross looks a little younger now, don't they?
Yeah, they're just a year or two younger than they are now. And there's Jesse.
Got caught in the cake dough.
Oh, my goodness, Jesse, you got caught.
He looks like,
He got caught in the sink, in the kitchen sink, taking a bath.
All the kids love to bath in Grandma's kitchen sink. Jesse loves to ride a horse too. There he has his picture taken on with the harness. The manes. I used to love to ride a horse with the manes like
Haynes.
that too. Is it Haynes?
Hames.
Haynes. Okay. Hi, Jesse. He's getting older. 2 years old. Beautiful black eyes.
There's his little plaid shirt. I think his dad had a plaid shirt about the same time that he
They
had
have a
this.
picture taken together, I believe. There they are.
Yeah, there's Ross in his plaid shirt and Jesse in his plaid shirt. They look a lot alike there.
Jesse's starting to school. He thinks he is just about as smart as a teacher. But if you disagree with that teacher, you're wrong. Look what a fine young man he is. You see, he's getting prepared to be baptized. There he is, right after he's baptized, all dressed up in the church.
This is at the Stake Center on
Now,
Nampa South Stake Center.
he's always loved his sister Alicia. Holds her and protects her. They've always loved each other ever since they were born. There's Alicia on Santa Claus' lap.
There's Jesse on the workhorse.
Oh, that's Alicia. There's Alicia on the workhorse.
Oh my goodness.
Your dad's holding it. Look at that.
That's over
Alicia
at,
thinks she's as tough as
Meridian.
the boys.
And here's Jesse and Alicia holding the lamb that was at the Ag Expo fair.
Helping you.
There's little Alicia.
Getting ready for Christmas in front of the fireplace, and their stockings are all hung.
Oh, Alicia's got not a very good looking face on there. She didn't.
She said she wasn't going to smile here. This is when Janie was married. That's the dress she wore when Janie was married.
Here
She's
she
starting
is.
to smile. She thinks it's kind of nice now. There she is, 3 years old. Oh, she's getting ready to almost start school here. She is some poser, isn't she?
She is
has
a
learned
beautiful
to
young
pose.
lady. There, she's on Santa Claus's lap.
We went
We're
on
here
a
at Uncle
trip.
Myron's house and hear the train go by.
We went on a trip to Salt Lake to get Leisha because she stayed with Ann. And she was so happy to stay with Ann. Here's Micah. Well, he was just a little baby. Isn't he a fine-looking boy?
And he's
His big
sitting on
shoulders.
Santa Claus's lap.
Yes, they have to do that. There's Micah. I got a picture of him like that in my kitchen.
Things are pretty serious
There he
for
is,
Micah.
right in front of the Christmas tree. He went outside and he was going to get himself a Christmas tree. So we went in the kitchen, got a great big butcher knife and went outside, and he was trying to chop down the Christmas tree with a butcher knife. His mother had to run out and get him. There's our
Sam.
daddy long legs. He's been a big, long baby all his life.
Look at the dimples on his elbow.
Oh, and here he is. Here's the age where we taught him to stick his tongue out. We're sorry. There's our two little boys. Micah, this going to... Our two little farmers. Here's Seth and Micah. Two little farm boys.
And their bib overalls.
Can you remember this? He was going to go swimming in Salt Lake City's Temple Square pool.
That was a fountain there, and he was going to go swimming in
Here
the
he
fountain.
is, bathing in our sink. But he wanted to go swimming in that pool. The first day they brought Sarah Jane home, right between Alicia and Micah. They were so happy to get her.
Oh, look at
Her
Sarah
blessing
Jane.
day. March 2nd, 1987. This is the outfit the Janey brought her, little pixie. A pink outfit.
Oh,
When we went
this
on our
is when
trip,
we
she
went
went
on
to
our
sleep.
trip, and we had a couple of sacks of wool in there and blankets over it, and she just cuddled right down in that and
Kept
went
warm,
to sleep.
went to sleep.
And here we have Rob and Janey.
This is their engagement picture, Larry. Taken in Nampa.
This is when Janey was married, June 10th. June the 9th.
Oh, it's June
Oh my
9th,
goodness,
uh-huh.
looky here. She's got 2
I
children.
was so proud of Janey when she sent this to me. It was in the paper, and it told about what a homemaker she was.
In Dickinson, North Dakota.
And her 2 children, and what she did on Sunday. Here's our
Little
beautiful
Benjamin.
grandchild, Benjamin. Here he is asleep with his bottle on the side of him.
And this was when they lived in Emmett.
They were closer to us then. Great
He
big
says,
eyes.
"What are you doing?"
He's as smart as he looks there. He can talk almost as soon as he was born. He says, "What's up, Doc?" Hi, Benjamin. How are you doing today? He's going home now in his car, all saddled up. This is when they flew in from Dickinson to get their home fixed, Benjamin and Janey. We had such a wonderful time then, the whole family, and had a good time while Janey got her home ready to sell. We took her to the Boise airport, and we took a few of the pictures before she took off. Here's Rob and Jane and the baby and all the children when they lived in Emmett. Let's see, this is, in front of the Cuna Church, the whole family, when she was visiting. This your homecoming? Ann's homecoming. Janey's moving. That was kind of a sad day, but I'm sure it was for the best.
And
Here's
here
our
is
blessed
Lonnie
doll.
Joe.
Lonnie Joe. What a
Dolly.
beautiful doll, baby. There's her blessing outfit. The day she got blessed.
And she was born in Dickinson, North Dakota.
There's our baby doll. I love Lonnie. She had red heart and red bow. Her birthday was,
November the 9th is when
I can remember all this.
Lonnie Joe was
November the
born.
9th. November the 8th.
8th. Sorry about that.
There's her dad and Lonnie. We had some experience with them when we went and had dinner with them. Benjamin started bawling to sit by his mother. And so they let him sit by his mother. And pretty soon she started bawling to sit by her dad. Janey says, "Well, we might as well give in, let them sit where they want to." Here's on Christmas morning opening their presents. They have a sand pile and they love the water and the mud. What fun they don't have. This is when Myron got his eagle and we all danced. And so they got together hand in hand and they had a little dance.
Oh,
Seth came over and bathed with Benjamin and they had a ball swimming together. If you
Under
notice real
shaving.
close, they're shaving. Lonnie, she is a regular duck. She puts her head underneath the tap and lets it run on top of her head.
Strangers!
Cut that.
Lonnie, she just loves the water. And here's our soccer champion. And here's Daniel Boone. He always loved that coonskin cap.
Cap, and,
That's
and there's Benjamin.
That's Kathy's
Groucho
baby.
Marx. He loves his glasses and his mustache.
This is Jean.
Yeah.
This is
This is
Lonnie.
Lonnie Joe.
For gosh sake.
Visiting
like
Grandma.
Your dad.
There's cuter than her grandma too. Look at that. Sitting on grandma's lap. I dreamed she was going to do that, and she did. She sat on grandma's lap.
Oh.
Shani took pictures of them and sent them to us. Are
This
they
is a
darling?
little dress that their grandmother Kershaw made for her, and that little suit that Benjamin's got on. Here's old
Daniel
backwoodsman, mountain man.
What old man is that?
Boone. Rob's going to catch you, Myron. Here's Benjamin running across the snow floor.
Uh-oh, he got caught in the cookie dough.
He got caught taking cookies from his mother's pan, and he looks like... And Lonnie got bit by the dog, and she could talk because she said, he bit me. See teeth?
That's right.
Oh, Anne enjoyed taking those kids. And they love her. They go shopping in our shopping cart at home. Push themselves around the house and go shopping.
Oh, they love that.
Oh, it's so cute.
There's little Lonnie Joe. That was
She's at the church when Myron got his eagle. She had so much fun with all the boys chasing her. And the little girls, they were so cute. Now they're getting ready to go. It was hard to see them go, but it was wonderful for them to come.
Oh, there's
Lonnie went
the
and
two
seen
granddaughters.
Alicia, they have a dress alike. They look so cute together. This is one of the funnest trips we've ever taken when we went to Dickinson, North Dakota.
There was 12 of us that rode in the pickup all the way back to Dickinson, North Dakota.
And it was really a ball. There's Jane and Rob in front of the Denver Temple. We were so proud to receive that picture of them. We stopped at Mackey on the way to Dickinson.
Max Inn.
Max Inn, and played in the water.
That's when I ate the olive and broke my tooth because the olive had a rock in it. Dropped it on the ground and
Really?
got a rock in the olive, and I clunked down on it and broke my tooth.
But there were boats there that we rented, and the whole bunch of us took turns and went on this boat, paddled all over Max Inn. It was a ball. We had so much fun on this trip.
And there's the farmer's daughter over there with her bib overalls on.
We all had, what are those called? Pedal pushers, and each one of us went on one of those and paddled all over the Max Inn.
In the river. And there even Grandpa and Grandma.
And our two navigators.
Yeah.
And
That's
the bathing
Alicia.
beauty. And there's the girls' navigators. While they go. All over Max Inn. That was some enjoyable trip. When we went, we saw a seagull right on top
Salt Lake
of
City.
the United States flag.
That's a seagull just sitting up on top of the flagpole.
This year we went on a trip to the Pacific Ocean in our van. That was one ball. Took the tiny, Sarah Jane was just a tiny baby. And we just had a ball there.
And this is when we stopped at the Idaho Power, or the Bonneville Power fish hatchery.
We finally got to see the ocean. And the kids were just amazed. They all ran out to see it. It's scary.
This is a picture along the Oregon coast. We had seen similar pictures to this on calendars taken in the same area.
Mike and Jesse had to climb the trees.
That's our two monkeys. That's along the Oregon coast.
There we are. And if you'll notice, there's Brenda's purse that she left right there on the bank.
Yeah,
$200
that's right.
in it.
$200, and somebody come up in their car and said, "You left the purse on the thing.
Caught
Give it
us
to us."
and give it to us.
There's
The
the
seagulls coming
flying
into
in.
the ocean.
You can see them flying there. That was really a beautiful day.
Kids love to play on that ocean, even though it was kind of chilly. Alicia just get right in the ocean. She didn't care, right up to her waist.
Cold along that area, Oregon coast.
But oh, it was gorgeous. Look at those beautiful trees.
We really enjoyed it.
Was there blackberries when you was there?
Just starting to come.
The blackberries were just starting to come when we were there.
And this is our tent and our van.
Yeah, we camped right there in one of the forest.
Oregon State Parks where they had a campground.
We stopped
There
at the
was
fish
Myron
hatchery.
showing his muscles. This is a fish pond. This is where they had seen that great big sturgeon. Now we're in Salt Lake City again.
This was the same trip, but we're back in Salt Lake. The kids love that pool. Seth insisted on going swimming in that Salt Lake pool.
You can see he's about ready to drop over the side and
He
jump in the
kept
pool.
saying swimming pool. So we finally took his stockings and shoes off and put him in.
And let him
And
walk around. In
you can see why he's like that, because there's his grandfather.
I don't know who that is. That must be Myron Evans.
There's a beautiful picture of the Oregon coast. The ocean and the trees and the seagulls.
Wow. That's a movie star.
There's your grandpa. That was taken,
Many years ago.
no, it was about 3 or 4 years ago, wasn't it? Yeah.
Just a little longer than that.
There we are in Salt Lake City, sitting on the...
That's your sweetheart speaking.
This is Paul Brogue that owns the Swiss Village Cheese in Nampa, Idaho, where Grandpa Kershaw works. This is a flag in front of the cheese factory. That was really a beautiful flag. Look how blue the sky is. This is Myron at the fair in 1987. Canyon County Fair.
His lamb really did well when it was the best of what it was singing.
Yeah, it was one of the better lambs in the
One of the better
carcass
lambs.
class.
Here's Glenn's lamb. They worked so hard to get those prepared and show. There's Larry just before he went on a mission. Had it
That was
taken.
back in 1953, October. And this is Nelda when she went on her mission.
That was just before.
And this is when we were married in 1958, June the 20th. And a bouquet of roses with a large
Gardenia in the middle.
orchid.
Oh, orchid. I'm sorry. I always get that wrong. Isn't that neat?
They had the sweet spirit to go along with that.
Yes, we were buried in the Idaho Falls Temple. It was a beautiful day. Our first baby, Kathy. These are different photos that we have of each one of the children. But we just felt like that each one of you would like to have the other one's photo, and so we decided to put each one that we had in there. These are those large pictures that we have as each one of you are growing up, when you're little and as you're growing up. Kathy first, of course. And we had a plan for each one of the kids, so we had one each year taken. Does that look like Jessie, or doesn't it?
That's when she's started growing up.
Started to school. here's
There's
Julianne when
Little
she was
Annie.
just a little girl, just a baby.
That's when she'd ride in the car and we'd go over a big bump, and she knew exactly when we'd go along that road and their bump was there, and she'd say, "Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go."
The way we'd go. These are the larger pictures of the children.
Look at her curly hair there.
Red dress, curly hair, black eyes. Some of these are, like I said, duplicates, but I think that you would really enjoy these. This is when she just started school, getting a little older. But they went to Roberts, Anne went to Roberts, and she started school in CUNA when she was a freshman. There's our Janie. She's just a month or two old. Her blessing. Each one of these, the first picture is her blessing outfit. Hers was blue, robin egg blue. This was a peach dress. She didn't have very much hair, but oh brother.
That's about the age she was when she chased the bunny.
Right here. Yeah.
She what?
That photographer gave her that rabbit. And she just thought that was neat. She held on to it. There's one of the favorite photos. That was her haircut that her dad finished, and I had to stop him if she wouldn't have any more hair, and I finished it.
This was about the time that she took her clothes and put it in a bag and was going to run away from home.
And what happened?
Well,
We couldn't let her go.
I see her walking down the road and asked her where she was going. She says, "I was going to run away." I told her, "Well, wait a minute, I'll go get my stuff and I'll run with you."
Here's Susan when she was just a few months old. She, of course, decided that Larry couldn't leave us all, so she come back. Isn't she a doll? She took the baby picture in her high school of being the cutest baby. She is a pixie. Like I said. She loved that pink sweater, long hair.
Time goes too fast.
Time moves on. Such a neat time of the year for each one of us to look at one another's pictures and remember. Her mission picture. She's in
When she
England.
was leaving for England.
So proud of her.
She's done such an outstanding job in England.
There's our Brenda. Such a beautiful baby. Her little white dress that she was blessed in. She had beautiful big eyes. She loved that dog that the photographer gave her to, and she didn't want to leave that. She wanted to hold on to it. No, she says, I want that dog.
When we moved from Lusville to Roberts, when we got over to Roberts the first night, she took her mother's hand and she said she wanted to go back. She wanted to go home.
It was hard for her to move. Starting school. That's one of her dates at college. But for some reason, I thought that was real cute. There's our Glenn with his football when he was just a little baby. We waited to bless him for 2 months. We had a blessing outfit for him. And by the time we got him blessed, he couldn't wear the outfit. So we had to leave it unbuttoned. He was just simply a big boy
He weighed 9.5 pounds when he
when
was
he was
born.
born. Just a nice big boy. So full of fun.
Sure has been a good boy.
Really enjoyed him.
Here a year
Lots of
from now,
fun.
he'll be on a mission.
Eagle Scout picture. I wish we had Myron's here, but his hadn't come yet when we had this fixed, and so here both of them are in Santa Claus. Just little kids. Was that at the war? Oh, that was at Karcher Mall, wasn't it? There's Myron and his football. He loves football. He keeps telling me he's going to play next year, so. He had, yeah, his 2 boys. That was his favorite coat. He says, Mother, can I have a picture with that coat? That's my favorite coat. So the photographer put it in and let him have a picture taken with it. Starting to school. They got that, I think, 3 times in here. But that's such a cute picture. That's fine.
When he was going to kindergarten, or before he was going to school, and when he was going to kindergarten, why, Mother forgot that the day that she took him, one day she took him to kindergarten, and there was no kindergarten. She left him there and took off, and he decided to walk home, and so he started home, and he says, I knew I was on the right way because I seen the chickens, and there was a neighbor that had a whole bunch of chickens, and he knew that that was the right way home because there was the chickens.
Crossing the highway.
And then Janie, one time, we went out to Salmon to get a load of lumber, and the truck knocked the motor out in the truck, and we had to stay, and so she went to school, and on the way home, why, after we got the truck fixed, and on the way home, why, we was driving along this road towards, after we left Roberts, towards our place, and Nelda, all of a sudden, she seen a flicker in the ditch. Somebody had moved in the canal, and we stopped and backed up, and there was Janie, and she was walking home.
And hiding from every car
that come along.
And there was no school that day, so she walked home and never said anything. And she just took home. She just took off. She was only in the kindergarten. It was a very wonderful thing that we had no problems.
Beautiful picture.
There's a family. And there's all of our children that were home when Ann was on a mission and Kathy were married. And it was just before Janie got married. This is just before Susan left.
Yeah, this is a picture that they take in the ward there for a ward directory.
There's our 4 children.
That was the 4 that was home, and this is Ann.
After she got home off her mission.
She looked almost like Argentine.
Yeah, Kathy and Ross at the reception in Cuna. They were married May the
12.
May the 3rd, 1978. Now, these are duplicates too, but that's all right. I don't mind that she made these. These are so cute. It just shows how proud Jesse is having this picture taken with his dad.
I think his dad's just about as proud as
Yeah, I think so too. That Leisha, when she was little, she wouldn't smile, but you can see after she started getting a little older, she starts smiling.
There are sober sides.
Now, Micah, can you smile? There's our daddy long legs. Isn't he a cutest baby?
He had red hair, kind of sandy
red hair. He's feisty too.
They didn't have any children that fought until he come along, and boy, I'll tell you, him and Micah now, they really fight.
But they love each other.
They love each other. They'd fight anybody else to protect either one of them, but they sure get into a hassle once in a while.
Jane and Rob, their engagement picture.
I sure love them too.
When they were married, and there's a reception at Cuna. They look so happy.
And they had an open house down
There's our Benjamin.
in Utah.
You ever seen anything so cute? I think that picture is a choice picture. There's our Benjamin and Lonnie. Janie made that picture frame and sent it to me, and I thought that was so cute, so I asked him to keep it on. And there's just last Christmas. Here's our Benjamin with his blue outfit on and Lonnie to match. Aren't they cute together? They're just dolls. Such a beautiful baby. This is Grandpa Kershaw, and this was taken in 1900 and on the 4th of July. And if you'll notice real close, he's standing right behind his father there, and the camera said, "They're going to shoot," and he got scared and hid behind his dad. This is in St. Anthony.
This is a picture of Nelda and her
Our whole
mother,
family.
father, and her brothers and sisters.
Myron.
Like Myron.
This is a picture of Nelda's family, and Nelda, for her Christmas present one year, she had this picture blown up and made this frame go around it and gave it one to each one of her brothers and sisters.
Do you have that still? Oh, good. Here's Aunt Minerva, my mother's sister, and her family. All these cousins we played with as we were growing up. Darrell and Genevieve and Myrna and Delwyn, Mona, Edna, Lamar, and Barbara. Here's Marjorie and Lynn. They sent this picture to us, and it was on Mother's Day, and she received a flower. And this is all their family and their husbands. Donna, Marcia, Lynn, Linda, Ruth, Sarah, Marjorie and Lynn, and
Beverly.
Beverly. And Lynn is in the back there. Oh, his wife's not there. He's not married yet. Isn't that a cute picture of all their little grandkids? There's Elihu and Barbara. They were married when he was in the service on the Christmas holidays. And this is taken in her grandmother's home. This is Barbara Grover. This was, somehow they got this mixed up, got Kathy's picture taken in here. Eddie should have been behind. This is their son, Eddie. Eddie Grover. Evans.
That's Eddie Spaghetti.
Eddie Spaghetti. There's where he is so cute in our house. Such a sunshine to all of us. And here's Elihu and Rhea McMurtry and all their family. But we thought this was all their family. They still have one other little boy, James. This is Wanda, Lou, and Arlo and their family. And Rocky, Evan, Gregory, Luann, Joy, and Joseph. And this is Shirley Lee Stacy's and their three boys, and Lori Ann's baby. This is Myron when he was just a little boy. Here's Myron's sons feeding lambs.
This is on my mission in Waterloo, Iowa. This is a place where we stayed there. We had an apartment. This is one of the little boys that was there. This is state capital of Iowa, in Des Moines, Iowa. We lived just beyond this state capital. We were in...
Is that President Snoop?
That is President Smoot.
You're holding up a rock there.
La Crosse, Wisconsin, when we was working there was with Elder Bernard. Elder Delray Home and I are standing on a bridge in Waterloo, Iowa.
Do you remember Bishop Holmes, our bishop in Roberts?
At this time there was a flood. Elder Oliver and I standing on the bridge, Waterloo, Iowa. This river went right down through the middle of the town. Elder Tolman from Burley, Idaho. He was a very fine elder. He was an older elder, but he kept up his end of the work just right along with the rest of us.
Minnesota.
This is Elder Bernard. We weren't to leave our mission boundaries. Waterloo, Iowa branch in Waterloo, Iowa. Brother and Sister Hop is in the back on the right. This was all of the branch. We had a collision. An elder and I was fighting, playing around in Decatur, Illinois, and broke my nose.
Broke his nose. The kids all like to see that.
Decatur, Illinois. The elders and sisters in Decatur, Illinois. Elder Hobbs and Brother Shelton.
They all look like friends here.
We were friends. Elder Ray, he was originally from Ryrie, Idaho.
Do you still
This
have
is
seen
Larry
him
Kershaw.
lately?
That's the old barber in Waterloo, Iowa. We cut each other's hair while I was there in the mission field. Des Moines, Iowa.
Who are those elders?
It's Elder Manning and Brother and Sister Hop from Waterloo, Iowa. After church one day, we hold church in a women's club there in Iowa. This is a car that I bought up in Wisconsin. An old Studebaker.
Like a Studebaker. Is it?
Yeah.
The Studebaker.
This is the outhouse
Guess what that is?
behind this is what we used in Waterloo, Iowa. We rented this apartment.
That's a missionary's car trying to get it started.
Des Moines, Iowa. They paid about $125 for this old car.
Oh my goodness. What is that?
This was a parade in Wisconsin. Slow it down. Slow the pictures down. Des Moines, Iowa. Elder Holmes, Waterloo, Iowa. He was my companion. He got sick there after I left and he went home. Elder Oliver, my companion in Waterloo, Iowa. Little church there, and they held weddings and different things there.
Smallest church in the east, isn't it?
Group of elders.
Do you know any of them still?
That's Elder Eliason. This is Elder Eliason that I met here a week ago, Norrell Eliason. It's a group of elders and sisters, Des Moines, Iowa.
Larry's in the front with his arms on top of each other, smiling. You can tell your dad's. There's a picnic.
Ottumwa, Iowa. This is on what the missionaries now call P-Day. This is a fire, it was a church, and it was holy smoke. This was really cold. This is President McKay,
Visiting.
President Smoot up in Madison, Wisconsin. They came up there to dedicate the chapel.
Look at his white hair.
This was really an inspiration to hear him speak and tell of his life and different things that's happened in his life. It's really the testimony that you know that he is a prophet of our Heavenly Father. Sister McKay, President McKay.
There's Brother and Sister Smoot, too.
President Sister Smoot. Very outstanding individual. This was when he was speaking at the pulpit in Madison, Wisconsin. This particular meeting, there was a thunderstorm outside, and it was so peaceful inside, and he drew the analysis of how the outside world, how wicked and corrupt it was, but yet the Spirit was so strong in that meeting. This is the first we saw of President and Sister McKay as they came walking down the sidewalk to meet with the missionaries in Madison, Wisconsin. In front of the chapel there in Madison, Wisconsin, all of these elders and sisters
What mission did you go to, Larry?
Northern States. Elder Eliason is over on the right there. That was in Nauvoo, Illinois. This is a powwow down there in Iowa.
All the Indians.
That the Sac and Fox Indians had a powwow there, and we went there. State of Wisconsin. We was leaving the state of Wisconsin to go, or to come back into Illinois. The powwow there in Iowa.
Beautiful.
They had very beautiful costumes, and some of their traditions and that they'd go right along with the things that happened in the Book of Mormon.
Is that where you received a feather that I can't talk?
That was in Des Moines, Iowa. That was later in my mission when they gave me an eagle feather.
I'm on my mission here in Seattle. This is a sister that I went to school with, Sister Larson, that I met there while I was there. We're all having a picnic there at the Seattle Park. Missionaries do have P days, and there I am in my pedal pushers. Picnic with the elders. That's lots of fun.
It looks like lots of fun.
It is. It was.
We always enjoy this.
There's Elder Murdoch. I know you kids know him. Elder Murdoch was a very dear friend. We went to school together, and he was second counselor to the mission president. He was a good one, too. This is in front of our mission home, our mission office in Portland. The flowers are so beautiful there, and the church. There's my companion, Sister Paige, and Elder Murdoch.
You notice that they're arm's length there.
Yeah, we're arm's length. There's our mission home. Have you ever seen such a beautiful mission home? There are 4 layers. The basement, and then the first floor in there. Here's Myron in his mission that he sent pictures of him. He went to Roanoke, Virginia. His mission was called the Central Atlantic Mission. Look how young, happy he is there.
That's Preacher Evans.
Yes, and here's Sister Evans. We left at the same time. We were in the mission home the same time, and we were also we went through the temple at the same time. And this we should tell, and that is that we got our names together, and they thought we were getting married instead of both going on missions as brothers and sisters, and they were going to marry us till they find out. There's my dear sister, Sister Betty Shelley, that I love so much. You saw President Greg, too, and there's President
Greg Murdoch.
And Elder Murdoch and Elder West. There's Sister Garlic. She, when she come home, she become a school teacher. There's the mountain that we would, one time we went up at the top, and then we would get some material and then would slide down the hill. It was so fun. These are the locks in Seattle where the ships were in part. There's Myron. Did you live in this trailer?
Yes, that's where we live in Waynesville, North Carolina.
When we come to get you, we went through Kirtland, Ohio, and took a picture of the old Kirtland temple there. It was so beautiful. There it shows our temples now is very much similar to this. The Aaronic priesthood on one side and the Melchizedek on the other. And they haven't changed this in the Kirtland temple. There's my father in front of
Angel Moroni on Hill Cumorah.
Of Hill Cumorah, yes, where the prophet received the Book of Mormon. The gold plates, translated into the Book of Mormon. Arkansas welcomes you. Linda Nelson went with us. Here we are in front of the Arizona temple. Mother and Dad and Linda and Myron. He just got off his mission, so you can see how happy we all were. The flowers there were gorgeous.
Notice the bib overalls on Grandpa Evans there.
He loved those. He always wore them. It was so. We sure teased Linda about getting on his donkey. We said, "You're riding a jackass." She didn't like that very good. There's Myron and Linda in front of the Missouri River. We sure had fun with her. She was so cute. She got car sick, and we said, put a sack on your stomach and you won't get sick anymore. And it worked. There's Arizona Temple.
Mesa, Arizona.
Yeah, Mesa, Arizona.
Look at the beautiful flowers.
Do you remember someone was getting married at that time? And it was such a beautiful sight to see them come out of the temple.
There's Mom.
And Dad. And Linda and I. Yeah. And I camped, Larry, here's your father and mother, and the whole family.
This is George and Noreen and their family, and Jean and LaFawn and their family, myself and Grandpa and Grandma Kershaw. This was been several years ago since this picture was taken.
This was before your mission, wasn't it?
Yes, I think it was before. Oh, and this
after your mission, and they got you to what?
be Ula and
Guess who your dad
Alley-oop.
is? Guess who your dad is?
Can you
They
pick
were in the
there's
parade.
Alley-oop.
And they were in the parade, and they jumped on the floats.
And we'd really disturb some of the people because we'd get on the floats.
And they couldn't tell who they were because they had nylon stockings over their faces and walking through there, and everybody's laughing. Guess who your father is? There's a Idaho Falls Temple. This is the day that we were married, I believe. Yes, this is the day we were
There's
married.
Grandma
June
Kinghorn.
20th. Grandma Kinghorn. There's Larry and Nelda in front of the Idaho Falls Temple being married.
That's after our marriage. That was Mr. and Mrs. Kershaw now.
In front of the Cardston Temple in Canada. That's where we went on our honeymoon. This is some of the beautiful mountains in
This is
Canada.
in Glacier Park.
These are actual films that we had taken. LaFawn and Jean took these of our reception after we were married. There's the photographer thought that Grandpa and Grandma was my father and mother, so they had to switch and get the right one. So that's what we're laughing about. So Mother, come on the side of me, and we had to laugh together. There's Mother and Dad. And Larry's mother and dad.
Grandma Evans, my mama. That's who you remind me.
This is our reception. You can see we're kind of nervous, I think. Larry looks pretty nervous there.
Ooh, this is the most enjoyable part of it.
The whole thing. And he was teasing me in front of this photographer.
It sure knocked my eyeballs out.
And then, here's our famous cake with the pans that we couldn't cut it. We knew we couldn't cut it because it had the pans. And he kept teasing he was going to cut it. And I said, no, you can't cut it. But it was beautiful anyway, even though underneath it wasn't too much.
That you had on your honeymoon at night. I like that experience.
Who is that in front of this?
That's Jenny Ball and
I know
Claire Thewison.
this elderly lady that's talking to me and hugs me. There's Darrell Virgin, my bridemaid, and also Maureen
There's
Ricks.
Otto Gower and Bernice that I used to work with.
He was working for them when we got married. There's Marcia and Linda and Donna and
Sarah Laree.
Ruth over there.
Perla
singing.
Kinghorn and Beverly Kinghorn.
And Joe is right behind them. Grandma
There's
Kinghorn.
Grandma Kinghorn.
I loved her just as much when she passed away as I did right then. I loved her all her life. She was a favorite grandma. And it was Larry's mother's mother. There's Glendon Gee, Uncle Lawrence. There's one of my best friends that I went to school with in high school, Helen McCulloch, that married Merlin Davenport. And they were married at that time, Mr. and Mrs.
This is Lana Lee Kershaw, Hi and Mildred's oldest daughter.
Playing the piano at our reception.
That's a spider.
There's Arlo. He sang "Oh Promise Me."
This is some of the presents that we received at the reception.
There's the mixer that my brothers and sisters gave us. Here's Burl at the gift table opening the gifts for us. And there's the table and chairs that we had so many years that your folks gave us.
The folks gave us that as a wedding present.
I'm sure the kids can remember saying, yep, we needed those. Safety pins and bottles.
We needed plenty of them. The only thing is we didn't need the bottles.
Here, now this tape is a little, they played the reception first, and then after we were married, we were coming out of the Idaho Falls Temple. And here's Aunt Wanda and Aunt Faye, and they were taking pictures of us, and we were coming out of the Idaho Falls Temple. Wanda Lewis is sweet. She helped me with my veil. And
there goes the train again.
And the wind was blowing a little, and it kept trying to come off. There's Dad and Aunt LaFawn and Grandma Kershaw.
There's Nelda and Larry.
Walking in front of the Idaho Falls Temple. It was so fun. Aunt Faye taking pictures of us. This is quite an old film, so I don't suppose it could be too much better than this.
Notice the difference in the temple now and what it was then.
The entrance.
Yes, the entrance is quite different, isn't it?
Oh, they took off from each other. She decides you want to go back in the temple.
Right, you want to go back in the temple.
This is the church in Sugar City where we had our reception. And it shows some of the cars in front of the church getting ready for it. Uncle Myron was the one that got our reception already, so it was nice when we came. And there's only one thing he forgot to do. Can you remember that photographer, how sweet he was? He's forgotten. And here's the street of Sugar City. The cars coming into the reception. This is kind of cute. It shows George and Noreen and Grandpa and Grandma Kershaw trying to get into our little home that we had built there by Grandpa and Grandma's. And the door was locked, so George had to crawl in the window. He come and told Grandpa it was time to come in. And they went in, and here come all the neighbors to see our little house while we were gone. There's Cheryl.
There's Rella and
here's Nina, so
Mark.
she runs away from the camera so nobody will see her, and they try to follow her. And there's Noreen and Cheryl and Connie and Grandma Kershaw. And they're trying to get in and out of that house because the steps aren't finished. It shows the street across from where we're going to live. Here's your mother, Larry. Here's our home.
This is the first home that we had, and we built this before we got married. And when we come back, we finished it and painted it. And this is little Mark Taylor. And we had his mother got after him for coming over there so much, and we had a wheat field right west of the house there, and he'd go down to his grandmother and grandfather Taylor's and come across the bridge and then come up through the wheat field so his mother couldn't see him.
Then he'd have tea with me, he said. This is the beautiful mountains of Canada where we went on our
This
honeymoon.
Glacier National Park. This is on our honeymoon. This was in Cardston.
It's in Montana. You remember that? Browning, Montana?
Oh, Browning, Montana. And this is where we went to sacrament meeting on Sunday evening, Nelda and I, and
we both
guess what? They didn't have any speakers, so we were the speakers for the sacrament meeting.
Here's the Cardston Temple. Welcome to Idaho.
This is, Nelda was so homesick to get back to Idaho that she had to get out and love this Idaho map.
The scenery was so beautiful. And,
Tell the first
This is in
honeymoon night that you had?
Well, this is in Cardston.
This is in Cardston, Canada. This was in the Glacier National Park, and I went to the restroom, and Nelda took my pictures. I come out.
Well, it was such a beautiful shot of the canyon there. Look how beautiful.
It was wonderful, brother. It was wonderful.
That wasn't it. Remember about the snakes? Got to tell that story. That was it.
Look at those things.
Beautiful trees.
Yeah, those beautiful trees. Well, right after we were married, one night, Larry, he would have nightmares and wake up in the middle of the night. And one night, I didn't know this, and one night all of a sudden he screamed, there's a bear here, there's a bear here. He jumped up on the bed and screamed that there was, and I believed him, because everything he said I believed, and I screamed and jumped up on the bed with him until I realized he was asleep and on the bed, and he was talking in his sleep, and I had to wake him up, and then we both went to bed again.
This is up in Cardston, Alberta, Canada. We had quite an occasion go through the temple. We thought we'd go through and do some endowments, but it wasn't open for endowments, so they were doing some sealings, and they let Nelda and I go through and do some sealings with these people that were doing it that day.
And President Archibald took us clear through the temple and showed us all about
all the rooms and all the history of the Cardston, Alberta temple.
This is going through the
Glacier National Park.
Glacier National Park. How
See
beautiful
the waterfall
this time
down
of
there
year.
and how beautiful it is. And that was the only bear that we seen on our honeymoon.
Yeah, and that wasn't at night.
That was in the daytime.
That was in the daytime.
Notice the peaks there. That's the reason they call it Glacier National Park, is because there's some of those glaciers up on those sides of those peaks that never leaves. Stay there the year round.
Hey, you guys, see how thin I am?
Yeah, look at that shape of that gal.
Look how that was a fun trip. This is the temple in Cardston again. This is front of that motel in Browning, Montana, isn't it?
There's Indian reservation right there close.
Larry left some of his clothes here, and we had to retrack and come back to this motel and get some of his clothes. What dam is this? Do you remember?
Hungry Horse Dam.
Hungry Horse Dam. There's our first baby, Kathy. There's my mother and dad, and Larry's mother and dad, and great-grandmother
Evans.
Kathy on her blessing day. She a beautiful baby. So happy. Every one of our brothers and sisters were there at that blessing. It's a very happy occasion. There's great-grandmother Evans. How old was she there?
Well, she was up in her 80s, wasn't she?
Can't remember.
Her, Catherine
Melanie was
Melanie.
born March the 10th, and Kathy was born when?
March the 27th.
Right.
This
When's
is a
Kathy's
parade
birthday?
in
Louisville. And Craig was in that parade. This is our first trip with Kathy. We
This
went
is
to
wonderful.
Seattle back to our mission.
And this is Ride Little Dinah. I think this was over by Bliss, Idaho. When we was coming back, we took this picture.
We had to put our Kathy on each one of these animals and take her picture. We had so much fun then. We just put pillows in the car, and she just stayed right back there, and it was her little bed. She just traveled all the way back and all the way Just out of fun. How much money did we have when we arrived home?
50 cents. And a
After we
quarter of a
arrived
tank
home.
of gas. Is what we
Quarter of
had
a tank
left
of gas and 50 cents.
when we got home.
Larry had quit his job and decided to farm. That's out in front where? Oh, Yellowstone? This is in Yellowstone, isn't it? I'm sure this is in Yellowstone. Such a darling picture of our first baby. Our first darling. Everything we did with her, she was happy. She was the best baby in the world. All of our children have been good. They just have been really good babies. Had lots of fun with them. Yes, I can see where Larry looks like Glenn. Her first birthday. Her hair in bobby pins. She's sitting on the cedar chest. She's such a happy child. Blowing out her candles.
She was 2 years old.
Oh, she was 2 years old there.
Kathy K. Kershaw.
That frosting looks like it's melting off the cake. KKK on the top.
Oh, this is when Grandpa Kershaw, Larry Kershaw, was a clown with Dale Phillison.
Right after we were married, and he had to see that the bulls did not hurt the cowboys, and I was scared to death. That was a very frightening time to watch that parade. That rodeo.
This is in Yellowstone Park.
We took the kids to Yellowstone.
This little Ann.
This is her first birthday. We put a doll on the cake. She thought that was so cute. I think Ann looks kind of like Lonnie here. Do you?
Hmm.
I think this is an outstanding picture.
This is up by the Grand Tetons.
All the flowers were out in bloom, and
We set Kathy down in the middle of them and took a picture.
Old Faithful.
Just starting to
Start.
spout off.
Kids had such a fun time watching that. First Christmas.
This is Christmas.
Ann's first Christmas. Little teddy bears, they're dolls. Here's we're in Yellowstone. We got these pictures a little bit front and back, but here they are in Yellowstone together, having a big time. Larry took pictures of them together, and I was holding them.
They were real happy little kids.
Here's Faye and Ronald and their family. Gayla and Brian, Shirley and Ron.
This was after Brian had that accident.
Yes, it was. Yep. Here's Brian and Gayla and
Kathy and
Ann playing together.
In front of Ronald and Faye's home there in Louisville.
Yes. Here's Ray and Elihu's children come to visit. And here's Kathy and Ann and Roseanne and
Gayla.
And there you are with Ann.
This is in Yellowstone.
In Yellowstone again. Look how happy she is. And here they're back playing with these kids. They got those a little bit twisted, I think. This is right after Sunday church. I was expecting Janie.
This is in Yellowstone Park. Ann and Kathy. There you can see an elk laying down in the meadow there in Yellowstone Park by Madison River.
That was a beautiful sight, though, that elk.
There's the bear.
And Larry went and took the car and went around and around. That bear followed. Kept getting out on top of the car, scaring us.
There's the yellow Old Faithful.
Going on. Grandkids will love to see that. They love that.
Here, Mommy, come get it.
There's Billy, and Roseanne, and Lamar, and Gayla. There's Kathy and that daffodil.
Wildflowers
Yeah,
there in
wildflower.
Jackson Hole, Wyoming. There's the barn that we built there in Louisville.
Right next to our home. There's Grandpa and Wilford Lewis and Jay Taylor with his back to the camera, and Larry and Grandpa on the top building the barn. Janie was such a cute little rascal at that time. she wanted to get right in the middle of it. Her blonde hair. Grandpa's reading her story. There's all three of our little girls sitting on the cinder blocks watching them build that barn. And Grandpa there.
Janie is not the only one that was so determined to get her diaper changed one night that when Grandpa was tending her that she made him change her diaper, and that was the only time that Grandpa would ever change the diaper.
Janie.
It was Janie.
Yeah.
And this is Kathy out in front of the house there at Louisville.
There's our three girls dressed alike, ready for church. Little patent leather shoes, little blue polka dot dresses. Kathy and Ann, such pals, and Janie, she's such a joy in our life.
There's our little wooden picket fence we had in front of the house with the kids.
There's our new baby, Susan
Susie.
Jeanette. I'm holding Susan Jeanette. This is Larry holding Susan in front of the house. Our home in Louisville.
That's our
This
four
summer.
children.
Yeah, this is on a Saturday, having fun. Look at that pickup out there. Is that one
That's
that
an
you
old
saw?
truck.
There's Janie and her pups. She loved her pups. Puppy dogs.
There they are with
They
their
played
little
with
puppy.
those like they did dolls. And there she's got her haircut.
Janie
her
cut her
famous
hair.
haircut. What happened after she cut it 3 or 4 times?
We cut it off, didn't we?
No, you told her they cut it again, they'd have to spank them, and so they stopped cutting it. But look at that haircut.
Really whacked off on top.
Halloween.
Oh, this was Halloween.
They got their
This was
masks
just
on.
before Susan was born.
She's probably there. They have done their laundry, all their washing, and hanging it out on the fence. You want to make sure it's dried.
There we got the straw stacked up along the fence.
Yeah, I remember that. They loved this Susan so much. Each one of them wanted to hold her. And 3 years old. Her birthday. Beverly and Susan they were born about the same time. So Linda and Marcia and Lynn is holding the 2 babies. There's Daddy and Kathy and Ann going to church. Larry built swings for the children in the backyard. Great big high swings. They really enjoyed those. All 3 of them had a swing.
This is out in front of the house, and you can see the snow. Usually that road would be snowed in the wintertime. You couldn't get through it. This was in the spring of the year, and the kids had some pups, and they really enjoyed playing with those little pups.
There's Susan, tiny little baby. right after
There
she was born.
somebody's birthday there, 3 years old. I
Must
bet
be
it was. And
There's
there's
Susan Jeanette when she's growing, getting a little larger. Such a doll baby. We went camping. There's Janie in the in her sleeping bag. Even Susan loved to swing.
There's Cheryl, George's, and Connie
And
Joe.
Connie Joe. They enjoyed playing with her. Janie in the back porch making mud pies. That's the back porch. There's Anne with Susan playing with the buggy.
No,
First
there's
day
the
of
first day of
school.
school. Darwin Anderson, school bus driver.
And Kathy getting on for the first day of school. That was an exciting day for us, too. It was hard to see her go to school, the first child.
There was Mommy and Kathy. This is George's children.
This is between the house and the barn. Susan and Janie and Ann and the cats. There's Susan just learning to walk. What
There
was
was
the
a
dog's name?
Spot.
There's Spot.
There's Jay Taylor and Pepsi. Old Pepsi'd ride on the motorcycle with him.
And he'd stay right there and hold on. There's Susan, taking off over from the grass, crawling.
That was in the front yard there in Closeville.
Kathy and Susan ready for church. Susan learning to ride her little bicycle, her little tricycle.
Full Spot, 4 girls.
They had such an enjoyable time with the dog. Larry got that tree for me for Mother's Day, and it blossomed. Now it's in such a beautiful apple blossom tree. There's all 4 girls dressed alike.
Yeah, that's 4. So.
Yeah. Larry wanted a real good herd of cows, so this is one of the
Bulls.
he
Bull
bought.
calf
At,
from
who did you-
Hymus. Bert Hymus.
There he's milking. He milked cows there. There's our Kathy in front of our yard in Louisville.
Here's the foursome again.
Yeah, there's Susie Q and Janie and Kathy. Janie, her birthday's May the 12th, and she wanted a picnic. So cold as it was, we went to Idaho Falls dressed up warm and had a picnic. Ann says, "Watch me ride the bicycle." As she was coming, she hit a rock and skinned both knees. There's Dallin and Janie, both of them fishing. They both had platinum white hair. They sure had fun together. Janie loved to be a boy most of the time. One year for Christmas, she didn't want a doll. She wanted guns. So we got her holster and guns. The rest got dolls, but she got a holster and guns, and she was very happy. That's what she wanted. Santa Claus listened. Oh, and now we are expecting our next girl, Brenda.
This is their first bicycle.
Yeah, every one of the kids learned to ride a bicycle learned to ride on this bicycle.
This is their dog laying out there sunning, and the kids are playing with the dog.
And they'd get all their dolls out and play with all their dolls. They had such fun together. There they went swimming. I do believe some of their swimming suits are just a little bit too little.
That's all right. They really enjoyed to go swimming.
They do enjoy riding their bicycles. I believe Ann learned to ride the bicycle first. That's what Kathy told me. There's Susan. Isn't she a doll baby? She's really a doll baby. They just love to go out there and play in the swing. There's their mama. All ready to go to church. Yeah, it's kind of in the spring, isn't it? Kind of cold, it looks like. A little bit of snow, isn't it? Here they are out there helping their dad, doing chores. This is in Roberts.
This is when the flood
came. And I tell you, we were worried. This is Rocky and Evan. And it was on one of the kids' birthday that they come over to help Larry with the hay. Going swimming, Brenda and Susan. Aren't they cute? Here, the train of bicycles, every one of them had one. The way they went down the road. Brenda, her first year. There she is as a baby, first year. There's under our lilac trees, Brenda and Susan. Beautiful yard we had there. There's all the kids with all the pups. Each one of them, I do believe, had 2. We had 6 pups that year. There's Larry and Kathy.
Daughter date. Daddy-daughter date.
Right, in Roberts.
Mm-hmm. There they were going with their bicycles.
They did enjoy riding their bicycles.
No, this is
on the 24th of July.
The
oxen that they had.
Well, they had an ox team, 4-head oxes. There's Jamie.
3 years old.
That must be Ann.
With her birthday cake, huh?
Yeah, that was in Blissville, Idaho.
Susan loved water. Every time I find the holes on, she would be in there. She loved to wash the car, wash everything. Janie and Susan out by the barn helping their dad.
This is Kathy and Ann.
While we were still in Louisville.
Whose house is that back?
That's Polson's home.
Was Wilford and Hazel Taylor.
I believe those pictures are really clear on that, don't
you? This is Brenda.
Brenda Jo when she was a tiny baby. Isn't she a cute baby?
That was about the time we moved to Roberts.
About that time, Brenda and Susan out there fishing. They're trying to find fish in the mud hole. They're both gone fishing.
There's Susan and Brenda.
Brenda and Susan, aren't they so cute? About this time, Susan came up missing one day. About the time she had just about that age. There's all 5 girls. Went to Salt Lake, had their picture taken under the statue of Christ.
Visitors Center there in Temple Square.
There's some friends and cousins out in front of Robert's.
That's the Scott boys.
There's Susan learning to ride her tricycle. She come up missing one time. And there she was, out there feeding the cows, talking to them. It's a cold winter day, it looks like. In front of our front door of our Robert's house, there's a birthday party. All the little friends come over to play.
There's Susan washing her tricycle.
Everything she could wash, she would do it. There's the lamb. She loved that lamb. She'd follow it everywhere. She really did. She loved the lamb. She'd talk to all the animals all the time. And the lambs loved her. It seemed like animals just knew that she loved them. There's Glenn when he was just a tiny baby sitting on his daddy's lap. And the rest of the kids. And friends. John Nelson's there too. There's Glenn and Myron playing outside, sitting on the ground.
Oh my,
There's
look at the bathing beauty.
Kids. You remember when you used to go up to Holmes and go swimming at Holmes with the Foster's kids? Have so much fun, they'd let that out. There's our barn at Roberts. And Glenn, he's right there with his dad, sticking his head through and saying hi, putting his little head on his hand. He says, this is hard work. Going up to Yellowstone, beautiful mountains.
Oh, that's Hebden Lake.
Yeah, we
That's
went on
the
our
earthquake.
trip.
That's the earthquake.
It's the earthquake, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Oh, how'd that get in the picture? That's clear back on our honeymoon. There's Evan and Rocky and helping us.
Spice of life.
There's where we went on our trip with Calls. There's Myron and Glenn.
That was out here. Father and son's outing.
There's Glenn. There's the kids.
That was in front of Roberts. This is at Roberts. This is out in the yard there in the big swing. Big trees.
We had lots of trees. We missed those for a while until we got some growing. There's the kids out playing. This is my father and mother's home when the flood came from Teton. And the great big pole come along right through the front door, went right through the kitchen and made this home float right about a whole
Quarter of a mile.
quarter of a mile until it hit a ditch bank and ended up on the ditch bank. It was quite a sight. Larry and I had a wonderful trip. We decided to go to Hawaii. It was one of the greatest trips we had, just us two. We were flying up in the airplane and we could see the clouds. And it looked just like a city up there. It was just a beautiful place. I just had to take a lot of pictures of the clouds. It's just so beautiful up there and so peaceful. And the sun just coming through them.
Clouds. They're just like feathers. Just so beautiful. It almost make you think you could step out of the plane and walk across the clouds. This is Honolulu.
And we finally come into the beach of Honolulu. And it was a great sight because we were getting tired of flying. But
We've been on the plane since early that morning.
Early that morning. But here we come in. It's gorgeous. Oh, and the ocean was just beautiful as we were coming in.
Warm and beautiful.
It was just And we left when it was quite cold home, and when we come into Hawaii, it was real nice and warm. You can see how populated it is. Here's in our hotel. We were on the
About the 15th or 16th
floor, and we could look through the window, and there we could see people down
This is a
sunbathing.
swimming pool.
Swimming pool right down from our window, and people are down there sunbathing. And this is the other side of our hotel. It was in kind of an oval shape, and you could see from one side to the other. This is Hawaiian temple.
Hawaiian temple. There was 12 palm trees up along the edge of that.
It was closed, so we couldn't go in. But it was nice and warm. I got a great big hat and wore it.
This is the Honolulu International Airport. Honolulu, Hawaii.
Yeah.
When we came in there,
This is the BYU College.
on the campus
And,
there in Honolulu.
This looks like an exciting college to go to. The kids work their way through by dancing.
And
This
working
college.
in the
And Dole, they have a Dole.
culture center.
Yeah, the culture center, and then they have this Dole plant that they can work to at the summer. This is the culture center. They have all these different natives.
Villages.
Villages.
Your Tongans, your Samoans, and your Hawaiians, and
Fiji.
different little villages around there that you
Haiti.
go on.
Was it Haiti?
And
And you go in here, Tahiti, and you go in this village, and it's just gorgeous.
And this is Brigham Young University there in Hawaii.
The front of it. It's just a beautiful place, and all the students there work at this culture center at night to have their tuition paid. You'll notice that the homes, a lot of them are on stilts. It's because it rains so much there.
And this was when we went on a bus from Honolulu up to Culture Center. Just Nelda and I went alone that day, and we went up and went through the Cultural Center, and it was really interesting, really beautiful place.
And this is the park for animals that I'd like my children to see. There's a kangaroo, and there's a little baby in that
Polynesian Cultural Center.
pouch.
This is very beautiful. This is owned by the church. And
At night they have a show.
This is the show at night, where they have the different cultures dance their native dances and do different dances to entertain the people. This here was a Kodak Film Company, had a special display where they do some dancing, hula dancers and different things like that, so that you could take some
Plants
pictures.
all over.
And the very beautiful plants there.
Inside of hotels,
Yeah.
where plants were growing like this. And flowers everywhere you'd look.
This is
On
the
the
Cultural
roofs,
Center
everywhere.
again. You notice
Most beautiful.
a lot of the huts there were made out of grass roofs.
And in this park, they had the birds come right to you. You could feed them bread.
This is in Honolulu. This is a park that we went through, the zoo. It had a bunch of different animals in there.
And I don't believe my kids have ever seen a park quite like it. Giraffes, all kinds of giraffes.
It was really a well-kept park, too. It was a beautiful
So clean.
park.
Look at the turtles.
That's big
Just
sheets.
huge turtles. Great big round huge turtles. The kids would just enjoy this so much. And then they had such beautiful places to sit and enjoy yourself.
Parks and different things there.
And this
This is Billy Goat.
with this billy goat.
There's a bunch of goats there they had in the park. This is
Peacocks.
no, this is
Oh, ostriches. Yeah, ostriches. And they were there were hardly any fences. They were just there. And just gorgeous plants for the animals to be there. There's a kangaroo again. And there's a little baby one in the pouch of that kangaroo. And
There's the
lots of
giraffes.
these.
There's a hippopotamus.
And they'd come up and then go down, come up and go down. It was really quite a sight.
Beautiful.
There's after we went swimming in the ocean, and we were up there, and we took pictures of each other. And there's that Larry in his swimming trunks. We went swimming a few times, but we really did enjoy staying in, you know. It was hard to go out of the hotel without with your swimming trunks on, you know.
You with your white skin on.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's right.
There's the ocean. It was
There's
white.
a big ship out in there.
Let's be honest about that.
Yeah, it was white. That's the truth. There's the ocean. And we went out in the ocean because we wanted to see Pearl Harbor. And so that was one thing we wanted to do, is go into the ship and see Pearl Harbor. This is, though, however, the
Polynesian Cultural Center.
Yeah. All the different flags. These are actual pictures of Pearl Harbor. Of course, we didn't take these, but we bought these pictures, slides, and these are actual pictures that were taken when the Japanese people bombed Pearl Harbor. So you can see
What
what's happened, a turmoil it was. And we just felt like that these were worth, buying, so that we could see. It said that our naval forces were completely exhausted at this time.
They destroyed them.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the ships that they destroyed and bombed. Sank in the harbor there in Pearl Harbor.
And they sunk these ships in, and they tried to go in after it was over and get the bodies out so they could bury them. But they lost several people trying to get the bodies out because there were so many sharp
Shrapnel.
in there, so they decided that they would put a memorial on top of these ships, and this was it.
This is a burial.
And this was the burial place of all these boys that were sunk in this ship.
You can see there on the left, down on against the water, one of the part of the ship sticking out.
They still had those there. Now these, of course, are our pictures again.
This is in the Polynesian Cultural Center there in Hawaii.
The night show, it was
It's
gorgeous.
just beautiful.
And then at halftime, they would serve half of the
Cantaloupe full of ice cream. Pineapple. wasn't it?
pineapple.
Pineapple.
Full of ice cream sherbet. It was
Homemade ice cream.
delicious.
It was just delicious.
This was inside that hotel with all those beautiful plants
Like a
growing.
bomb right there.
And dance. These people could dance, and they had this beautiful river going through.
Run right through the Cultural Center.
You could go for a ride on the boat. This fellow right here was a Maori, and their dance was sticking out their tongue, and I've never seen anybody can stick out their tongue quite as good as he can.
That's where Kenneth went on.
Yes, this is where Uncle Kenneth went on his mission.
This is coming into Honolulu in the evening.
And as they were dancing, they just had all these different nationalities, and they'd all dance a little different.
This here is a very beautiful flower. This is just so beautiful, but it doesn't
It's a
show up
national
too good
flower,
in
I
there, but
believe.
it is really beautiful. This is some of the fences that they built around some of their cultural areas, show the depicting the fences that they put around some of the
Their villages.
actually villages. And this is one of their living quarters in their villages.
And they all would meet in a great big assembly hall, not like this. Sometimes,
And they'd
some
use
of them
those
were
for when they'd go to sleep at night. They'd just roll out a grass mat and lay down on a grass mat, and that's how they'd sleep at night. This is waterfalls that they had built there and showing different things. And this is a grass, you can see the grass roof on this hut. It's typical Polynesian people, different cultures. This here is
a little home.
little home there that they had in the grass huts that they made.
We met Richard Evans's companion there that he met at Fiji. And when he found out we were relatives of his, he grabbed a hold of us and loved us like we were brothers and sisters. He was as black as I've ever seen a man be. The only white thing he had was his eyes
His teeth.
and his teeth. He was just coal black, and he was really had the spirit of the gospel with him. And he was sure happy.
Richard's saying about some of them people that are just as black as
He was sure happy to see us, to think we were relatives.
This is just a canoe there that you could see that they built out of trees and different things that they make those canoes out of. And there's a fence around one of their villages, Aloha from the Hawaiians.
Aloha, hello,
Hello.
and goodbye. There's a duck, and as you know, if you look real close, your grandpa is teasing that duck. And he's chasing it.
It's a goose.
Is it a goose?
Yeah, it was a
okay.
goose.
He's teasing that goose. Do you see the coconuts? They just pile them all over. You could have one anytime you want to pick one up.
They'd pop them open and make different things out of the covering over the coconut. Take the coconut oil and use it, and then use the coconut meat on the inside of the coconut for different food that they have to make up, and it's quite a thing. This is one of the native dances there in the Polynesian Center. This here, you can see up on the roof of that grass hut, they had hoses scattered around in case of a fire. This is back in Robert.
Here's our
Idaho.
good friends, Janine and Terry Larson, and their little family. Most of those kids are married now. Here's our girls dancing in the mutual dance.
Dance festival.
They had about 8 different costumes. This was their formals. Here's all of our girls and boys. And here, Janie danced with Richard Newby. And let's see, Ann danced with Glenn Edwards.
And Kathy danced with Bruce Durant.
Bruce Durant.
And danced with.
You can see how cute they are in their formals. They all dressed alike, and they all went to Boise Stadium and danced. They had 8 different changes of costumes. Myron and Glenn, look how young they are there. There's the Ann and
Wayne Edwards.
Wayne Edwards. Yes. And there were also 3 other girls that danced with them. Amy and Angela and Pam. Oh, Kelly Barris is there too, isn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Here they are in the stadium. Bronco Stadium.
This was a district dance festival, or regional dance festival, I should say. Stuck in all the stakes around that area.
Here they are dancing in their different costumes.
Bronco Stadium. It was a beautiful occasion to see that.
Yes, it really was nice. Really nice.
This is some of our kids dancing one of their dances.
They're kind of a Spanish dance there.
Greek.
They have a...
This is Sister Butler and all the girls that went and danced.
There's our 5 girls on Sunday. Look at Brenda, her knee high. She can't believe. Oh, there's our 2 boys with them.
Yeah, that's when Woods lived down the lane from us.
Yeah, Myron and Glenn, buddies. Yes, Larry wore a tie and white shirt. That's what Myron and Glenn wants to do, wear a white shirt and tie. Here's Kathy in the Salt Lake Temple again when she got her endowment.
This is Kathy's wedding.
Grandpa and
Grandma Kershaw.
These are slides and the others were pictures, so there might be a few that's similar.
There's Grandpa Evans.
Yep, and Susan, Grandma Kershaw, Grandpa Kershaw. There's David and Myron and Grandma Kershaw
And Susan.
and Susan. Kathy and Ross right after they got married. They look so happy and cute.
Yeah, I got motion pictures of these.
Kathy and Ross, you gotta let us get a copy of that.
Also,
I didn't know that.
also of you guys.
Of us?
Uh-huh.
You gotta let us have a copy of that now. We'll have to get a tape for you to make a copy of that. There's Grandpa and Grandma. I believe that's one of the last times that Grandma was there at our house.
This is the bronc that we tried to break. Finally bucked Glenn off and pretty near bucked him into a fence, and so we sold him.
There's Elder Murdoch with his family, Sylvia and all their family. He has a lovely family, about 10 children. There's Myron. They finally talked him into getting on, but that horse, I tell you, he was ready to buck. He bucked Jenny off. There's Larry and I in front of the Cuna Church as we're coming out. Rob and Janie are getting married. There's Myron and Lois and their family, and Kenneth. I can see Kenneth.
And this is on Rob's side of the
This
family.
is Rob's family. There's his father and his brothers and sisters. In-laws, I should say. There's Janie. There's Alicia and Jesse.
And there's Melanie.
Melanie. Who else? Oh, Kathy and Glenn. There's Janie standing on that beautiful.
It was on the temple ground.
But it was on a kind of a stand there that she was standing on. And there's little Micah. She's holding Micah. He comes. He wasn't very old. Rob and Janie, how cute they are.
This time Wyann was on her mission in Argentina, so she couldn't be to the temple with Janie and Rob when they got married.
That was kind of hard for her. There's Myron, Lois, and Larry, Kenneth, and Verla. And there's Rob and Janie standing on that stool together. They were made such a beautiful couple.
There's Janie a-clowning again.
I've seen that video.
There's Ross and Kathy.
And their 3 little children. We had so much fun with that family at that time. There's Myron and Lois and their family. And David and Danny. There's Rob's father and Janie. There's Rob and Janie walking around the temple.
Or the Idaho Falls Temple.
They were married June 9th. There's the Evans family. That Danny. No, this is Nathan. Nathan didn't want to leave his mama. That was Nathan, too. Oh, I made Janie's dress and also Kathy's dress. That was the funnest sewing I've ever done. It was really fun. There's that David. We had so much fun with them. There's Larry and his two boys when Glenn received his eagle. These pictures aren't too plain. I don't know if it was the girl that did it or what.
There's Jesse and Myron and Brad. Pack 'em.
He's moved now. He's in Washington, D.C. Here's Anne, and she's home from her mission now.
Jamie, Myron and Glenn and Nelda.
Here they are in a parade on the 4th of July, all of them on their bicycles running along.
Right there by the house in Kuna, Idaho. See the big eye bank in back of it, the Hubbard Reservoir Bank. They've had a lot of fun on that bank, riding bicycles down it,
There's Anne's
sliding
companion.
down it on sleds in the wintertime when there's snow on it.
Yeah.
Now Myron runs up and down it with his four-wheeler. Or three-wheeler.
That was Joan Barber, her companion there. There she is again.
She came
Alicia
to
and
see
Jesse
Ann.
for a few days. And we got some pictures of her. This is a blessing of Benjamin. We didn't get many pictures of this.
This was in Emmett, Idaho.
Yeah, this is
When
his
Rob and
brother
Jenny
and
lived there.
family were there.
This is in Kuna, Idaho. There's Janie and Rob. In front of the house there in Kuna. With their little baby.
But this is one.
There's Ann when she came home from her mission. That was quite an occasion. The kids put up on the south side of the house a sign that says, "Welcome home, Ann." And we went to the airport, seen she came in on a Frontier airline. It was quite an occasion to see her come home from her mission.
Most joyous time. There's Benjamin. The whole family went up in the mountains and camped out. This was indeed an enjoyable day. We played and watched the kids play in the river. And it was really an
It
enjoyable
was
day.
up at Sage Hen Reservoir.
Yeah,
This
there's
is Ann and Joan Barber again.
Joan Barber.
This was Ann and her boyfriend hugging.
We were so happy to have her home. There's the Kershaw swimming pool. More kids have had so much fun in that. That's on our lawn, and Larry floods it, and then the kids get their inner tubes and play on it.
And the ducks, we have some ducks. Myron got some ducks, and they have a great time on that. Swimming around, and
When
even
the
the
kids
wild
get in,
ducks
they
will come
go
in
out.
there.
When the kids go out, they get in.
This was in Dickinson, North Dakota.
This is one of our most enjoyable trips we've taken. We got all the little boys a shirt alike, and the little girls an outfit, and we went to church with Janie. We saw the
This
Mount
is Mount
Rushmore.
Rushmore.
Here's Larry in front of it. That was on the 4th of July we
Mhm.
saw that.
They had a program there, and it was really an outstanding program.
A man took the part of Abraham Lincoln and gave his life. And it was really touching.
good.
It was really
The
outstanding.
Marine band was there and played.
Oh, it
They
was
had quite a program.
Benjamin and Rob and Janie. And Janie was expecting Lonnie.
And after we got through, I went back up to Janie's up in Dickinson. This is there at the Mount Rushmore. They had a walk that you'd go up, and they had all the state flags on flagpoles where you'd walk up through there.
Merry Christmas to all of our family. We hope that you enjoyed this tape that we have made for you. And that you'll remember that we love you so much. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from your parents.
Merry Christmas. I hope you enjoy this. Something to be with you for a long time.
These are your memories.
You're the ones that made them.
Good night.
We're here at Uncle Myron and Aunt Lois's place, and it was very cordial in setting this up for us so that we could record this with the voice. And we really enjoyed it. We enjoyed all of these pictures. Brought back some real fond memories of things that had happened in our life from day one till up until now. Just always have a strong testimony and stay true to the church and be close to your Heavenly Father. These are the important things in life.
Remember what your father said. And this is true. Good night. Merry Christmas. Oh, my dear children, I hope you'll always remember how much I love the church, how much I love the Savior. And I know that the prophet, Joseph Smith, was a prophet of the Lord, and that we have a prophet to guide and direct us in these days. May you always remember how important this was in our lives. And we say this in the name of Jesus Christ. Myron Evans. He's only a month old, and all you children want to see him. So I asked Myron if he'd record him on this tape so that you could see what a cute baby is.
You gonna smile at your daddy, huh? Huh? You gonna smile at your daddy, huh? Oh, you little angel. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Oh, you sweetheart. You smile again. Come on. Smile again. Come on. Smile again. Smile again. Yes. Yes, sir. Oh, what a precious little thing. Oh, we love you so, little Samuel. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, oh, hi, hi. 1 month old. 1 month old. 1 month old.